Hello everyone. Today's topic is from economics, grade 10, sector of Indian economy. Second chapter of economics. This is an easy chapter as we have already discussed in ninth grade the different sectors, primary, secondary and tertiary. It is the same thing, a little bit deeper in it. It's quite easy, so no issues for any tension. So sectors of Indian economy. Sectors means group of people working or engaging in different activities. To understand Indian economy, we should know the components or sectors. To know the GDP of India, to know the economy of India, which is the main thing in economics, we need to understand about sectors. There are mainly three classifications of sectors: primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Primary sector, it is mainly agriculture, dairy, mining, fishing, forestry. Fishing is also called as pisciculture, horticulture. Everything comes under primary sector. Anything that depends solely on nature comes under primary sector. Everything that relates directly to nature comes under primary sector. Hope primary sector is clear. Secondary sector, it is also called as industrial sector. In this sector, natural product is changed to other form. So, primary sector gives its product to secondary sector, and here they change its form. The natural product is changed to other form. For example, you can give sugar cane is given by primary sector to secondary sector, and secondary sector makes it as sugar. Products are not produced by nature but by factory, workshop and at home. As I told you, sugar is produced by factory and directly we do not get sugar in the field. We get sugar, and that sugar cane is being given to secondary sector, and here they produce sugar. Third is tertiary sector. It is also called as service sector. Now this produced sugar, where do we get? We get in the shops. So the shops, how do we get in the shops? It is through the tertiary sector. It is called as service sector. It gives aid and support to the production. Example are transport, communication, banking, storage, trade and so on. So anything that gives us service is called tertiary sector. Now you may ask, teachers, doctors, then officers also give us service. So do they come under tertiary sector? No, they do not come under tertiary sector. Here tertiary sector is related to only industrial sector. There are other two sectors which you must know to clarify a little bit, which is not there in your textbook. That is quaternary and quaternary sector. There are other sectors, that is like quaternary sector includes the service of teachers, doctors, etc., whom we do not find in the primary, neither in secondary nor in transportation and all. So teachers won't transport sugar cane or sugar somewhere around, right? So though they are not included in that part, still they give us service. So they are included in quaternary sector. Quaternary sectors are the people who give big decisions like judges, ministers, PM, top executives, officials, all come under quaternary sector. This part is not there in your textbook, but for your general knowledge, you must know this, because sometimes 1 mark question, teachers or doctors come under which sector, tertiary or secondary. So you are not supposed to, if there is none of this, you got to put none of this, or if there is quaternary or quaternary, you can select this. So hope so this is clear. So then GDP and comparing the three sectors. Comparing the three sectors. As we know, there are three sectors which are large in number of goods and services. They provide huge employment. The question rises, how do we calculate the GDP of these sectors? GDP is nothing but gross development progress. This tells us the Indian economy, how much India earns from these three sectors. So how it is to be calculated? It is a very great and difficult task to calculate the GDP of these sectors. As we know, India manufactures pins to cars. Everything is manufactured in India, right from a small pin to a large car. Everything is manufactured in India. So there is a big problem in counting and comparing the price and the GDP of Indian economy. Okay, so you cannot say that mango is same as that of apple. So you cannot count mango and apple with the same GDP. Mango has its value in a different place, and apple has its value in a different place. So they both are different. So like this, it is very difficult to compare the price and get the GDP of Indian economy. Thus, to avoid confusion, we add value of goods and services and not numbers. So we add value of the goods and services. So how the value is being added? So how to count goods and services? To avoid any kind of double counting, we need to make sure that the product that we are adding is added only once. That is, there must be single addition of products, counting of products. For example, so you do not get confused in this example. Carefully, please understand this concept. For example, farmer gives wheat to flour mill. Flour mill. So mill grinds and gives it to biscuit factory. This biscuit factory uses flour, sugar, etc. and makes biscuit and packs the biscuit. Bakes it and packs the biscuit. Wheat is added in every stage. In flour mill there is wheat, in factory there is wheat, in packets there is wheat. Okay, if wheat is rupees 8 per kg, then the biscuit will be rupees 20 per kg. And you cannot say wheat is there in that. So we can't count only this number, neither we can count only this number. Okay, so what is to be done? We add value of goods and services. Okay, that is everywhere it was there. So the final price after the factory which comes out, the packs when they come out of the factory and goes to the store, there the MRP is set, and that is the final value of the product. Okay, we add value of goods and services. To make it more clear, here I have given another example. Okay, A goes to forest, brings herbs. Okay, herbs usually used for herbal products, and sells it to B for rupees 50. Now A earned 50 rupees. B makes herbal medicine and sells it to C for rupees 80. C makes 80 rupees. Here C is not getting 80 rupees. Here he has given 50 rupees to him, and how much remains to him? 30 rupees is remaining for him. Profit is 30 for him, not 80. So you cannot say he got 80 rupees. Okay, C packs the product. Yes, so B gets 80 rupees. C gives 80 rupees, and then C packs the products and gives it a name, a good name, and puts MRP as 100 rupees, which is absolutely correct. Okay, now you cannot say his profit is 100 rupees. He has given again, he has to take back this 80 rupees. He has given 80 rupees to this fellow, C. Okay, so C has given 80 rupees to B. So what happens here? He has earned again 20 rupees only. His profit is not 100 rupees. So 20 rupees he has got. So total MRP is 100 rupees, and this is absolutely correct. If C calculates the whole thing as 50 plus 80 plus 100 and sets MRP for 230 rupees, which all this together is 230 rupees, and sells it to the consumer for 230 rupees, it is absolutely wrong. Thus, double counting must not be done. Clear? Double counting is not to be done. So, this example shows you clearly that double counting is not done here. This is absolutely right. This is absolutely wrong. Hope so this is clear for you all. So like this, goods and services are to be counted. The final value should be counted. Here the biscuit is called as intermediate goods. Here the herb is called as intermediate goods. Intermediate goods value is not to be counted everywhere. So now GDP. What is GDP? GDP means gross domestic product. Definition: the value of goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year. Then sum up the production of all three sectors. It will give you GDP of the country. So this will be your definition for GDP. And even in your textbook there is clearly definition given. You can write that also. Here domestic means within the country. Central government, departments of all Indian states and union territories carries out all this counting of GDP. Hope so it's clear for you. So please like, share and subscribe. Next topic will be historical change in sector. Thank you.